Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to our show titled Speak of Africa. We have a lot of news for you, but before we begin the news, we want to let you know we have some household issues. This is December, and before you know it, it will be the end of the year. We're just going to remind you that soon it will be tax time, and we're going to start preparing. We're already preparing. In fact, this year, we're trying to help a lot of our people who are interested so that they can make some money in the tax business. We have a turnkey system where we want to help, whether you're a tax preparer or you're not a tax preparer, you can still benefit from this program. If you're not a tax preparer, you can benefit by working with us to look for people who want to do their taxes or who need bank products. We'll make the money from there, we'll share the money with you. Then those who are tax preparers, we have a turnkey system. We have software. We've become software resellers. We can resell tax software to you, and you use this software to do taxes. We'll help you to set up your business. We're doing this, and we're already helping people to do it. So you just need to call us. We'll help you build a website, set up the system so that you can harvest clients using a sales funnel. So you just need to call my number, 301-760-0335, and I'm going to share the information with you on how to get involved in the tax business. Okay? We're setting up and we're getting busy. So we're encouraging people to join and make money in this process. Okay? Without further ado, when we look at the international scene, what is happening? Well, it's the same game of competition. Nations have interests. Nations cater to their interests. So when you look at the geopolitics, that's what is happening. The most current news we faced before we came to the studio is the fall of Syria. The Syrian government of Bashar Assad has collapsed. It has collapsed, and this collapse was really funny. People felt like it happened so soon. It's just like the fall of Kabul in Afghanistan, back to the Taliban. That's just the way the government of Bashar Assad fell. Since 2016, Bashar Assad has been struggling to hold on to the country with his Soviet proxy. Russia has been using him. Putin has been the guy supporting him. But you see why we're warning Africans, be careful. Russia tends not to be a reliable ally. Russia has allowed Bashar Assad to hang out in the dry. This is not good. They have done this with Egypt. When Egypt was fighting Israel, America provided consistent assistance to Israel. But the Soviet Union provided inconsistent assistance to Egypt. Finally, Anwar Sadat got frustrated with continuous defeat. He decided now to make friends with Israel. The day he went to the Knesset and made a speech of peace, that's the day he signed his own death warrant. The Arab radical Islamists decided to kill him like a dog. That's what happened. Then you see what is playing out now today. You're going to see the fall of Syria, the government of Bashar Assad, is going to have ramifications in Africa. So when we present information to you, we want you to understand it well. Once again, Russia has let down a friend. You have most of these governments in the Sahel. You are relying on Russia, Central African Republic, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad. You guys are trading the West for Russia. But begin to see what is going to happen. I'm sure the fall of Bashar Assad should really tell you that be careful. Don't rely on Russia alone. Try to diversify your alliances. That's the message we're sharing with you on the show of today. Because Bashar Assad had put all his eggs in one basket, which is Russia. And Russia has failed him. You see, Russia has a very small economy. Most of the time when I explain things on this show, people think that I'm anti-Soviet and anti-Russia. No, I'm just telling you the facts, the way they are. Russia is a small economy, just like the economy of Texas. California has a bigger economy than Russia. Okay? So sometimes when people talk, they really don't understand. America can fight 4 wars at the same time. Israel can fight 4 wars at the same time because they have the means. They have the technology. Russia is a rich country. It's an old civilization, but they have limited resources. Russia is not a superpower. Russia is a regional power. They try to bluff. Look at what they have done. They went to Ukraine. What has happened? They have expended a lot of their resources in Ukraine, which is why they have to sacrifice Bashar Assad. This week, I was monitoring the news coming from Syria. And besides, it looks like Israel's role in the fall of Assad is apparent. Israel has been hitting most of the proxies of Iran, Hamas, okay, Hezbollah. So now that Assad is gone, this is really tough for the people who are looking for support from Russia. You look at what is really happening. Turkey is also emerging as another superpower. Turkey plays a very clever game. Turkey is part of NATO, but Turkey plays games in that region because Turkey has a very strong army. Now, the Turkish army has been working with Syrian rebels, and they have occupied the northern part of Syria. Then they started marching south. Then they started exploiting weaknesses in the government of Assad. The government of Assad has been under sanctions for a very long time. So Russia could not really help him with new military hardware. Most of the hardware comes from the West. So Assad could not get this hardware. So it really was like his hands are tied. He cannot really fight. He wants to fight, but his hands are tied. The West had been crippling his economy with a lot of sanctions. So these sanctions do not only hurt the economy, they also hurt the war effort. And that's why people are saying, why is it so easy for the Syrian rebels to walk into Damascus and take over the country? It is because the government of Bashar Assad has been weakened, crippling sanctions, no weapons to fight. Then, of course, the role of Turkey. Turkey is also emerging. Turkey has even been making deals in Africa. You know, the Baraka drones, they came from Turkey. Okay? So Turkey has really helped these rebels to take power. And of course, most of the anti-Turkish folks who are in Syria, that's why Turkey wants to fight, because Turkey wants to root out some of the rebels who are in Syria. Now they have succeeded. And Israel also has changed the effort in that area. So when we see countries like Central African Republic, they're relying on Russia. We say, be careful. Rely on Russia, but open your eyes, diversify your support sources. Don't rely on Russia alone. And of course, Mr. Joe Biden comes to Africa. Well, it was a big visit, important visit to Angola. And why? It's because of America's interests. When you look at the presidents from Zambia, Congo DRC, Angola going to welcome Joe Biden, you know that Africans are still slaves. Joe Biden is the master, okay? The master has come home. The master needs raw materials. The master needs minerals from Africa. So the Libito corridor, railway corridor, has to bring all these minerals to the market. So Biden went there, as we told you before, to try to the world. China has made serious inroads in much of Africa. America is coming to the party late. But with this project, Biden wants to show that he's ready to take on China. Soon, Donald J. Trump will take over as president. We know he has an anti-China stance. So that's why we think he's going to maintain the position of fighting to win the hearts and minds of Africans. When we look at Angola, yes, oil is important. This economy relies too much on oil. But we are telling the president of Angola, João Lourenço, please try to diversify your economy. Don't rely on oil alone. Look at solar. Invest in solar, okay? Don't rely only on oil. Invest in agriculture. That's something, you have a lot of land. Use this land to build real estate. Then later on, you have real property. That's the advice we'll give to Angola. So try to build on your economy. Start a new industrial revolution in agriculture. Mechanize the farms that you have. When you do this, you're going to create a lot of employment for young people. Then there will be less poverty. So we're telling you now, invest in solar energy, invest in clean energy, use the money from oil to diversify your economy. Don't rely on oil alone, which is the mistake a lot of these big countries have been doing. Even Nigeria. Nigeria relies so much on oil to the detriment of the country. You need to diversify your economy. Agriculture, believe in mechanization. Let's start a new industrial revolution in Africa in agriculture. Don't just be having small farms. Create big farms. Africa should be able to start exporting food. And if you have food, at least a man who is not hungry physically, he can think about metaphysical hunger. Physical hunger should not just be the only thing on our minds. We should think about metaphysical hunger. How would you be thinking about metaphysical hunger when you've not fulfilled the need for physical hunger? Maslow, hierarchy of needs, tells us we need to fulfill the need for physical stuff first. Then after that, we can look for the need of self-actualization. So give our people food to eat. Mechanize agriculture. Burkina Faso, yeah, in Burkina Faso, this is one of the Sahel states. Last time when Putin invited African leaders to Russia, Ibrahim Traoré was basking in the moment, and he was even trying to talk to Putin if he can build a nuclear plant in his country. Yes, befriend Russia. I'm not saying you should not befriend Russia, but be careful. You've seen what has happened to Assad, right? Bashir Assad has just fallen. Bashir Assad has escaped to Russia. He has run away from his country because his government has fallen into rebel hands. So, Burkina Faso, you've always had coup d'etats. This week, we heard news that Ibrahim Traoré has fired his prime minister and nominated a new prime minister. He did not really give any excuses or any explanation why he fired the prime minister. So we'll assume if the prime minister was fired, it was because, according to Ibrahim Traoré, he was not doing a good job. So it remains to be seen. We're going to gather some information from this pretty soon. Then what about Cameroon?
Welcome to a Ayuk Tax Service. We are tax professionals at your service. Our services include tax returns, payroll, bookkeeping, business planning. We provide professional service, years of experience, and are proud to serve your business. Get your maximum tax refund with 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. We are located at 11207A Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Contact us at 240-350-1131. Fax 240-556-0535. Or email service@ayuktaxservice.com. Our hours of operation are weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and weekends 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please visit us online at www.ayuktaxservice.com.
Well, in Cameroon, we see the Biya government in serious difficulty. ICC, the International Criminal Court. Cameroon is not a signer of the Roman Statute. So even though in 2019, they took Cameroon to the ICC, not much was done. This week again, there's news that new allegations of human rights violations have been filed against the government of Paul Biya. But is anything going to change? We don't think so. Paul Biya decided not to sign any of these treaties, so he feels like they cannot hold him accountable. And most of these foreign governments, world powers, they treat him with kid gloves. They need the resources that he's giving them, so they're not going to do anything to him. So even though people keep complaining about foul play, human rights violations, the guy will continue violating human rights and nothing will happen to him. Except the United Nations can exert pressure. That's when Biya will have to change his ways. But this guy is like a big old elephant. It's late to teach a big elephant to learn how to tap dance. Okay? So he will just die and go as a non-entity. But he's still there. And this week, one of our leaders in the Catholic Church, Samuel Kleda, I think in an interview with Equinox TV, he came out and trashed out Paul Biya. He said Paul Biya is not really running a democratic government. He gives the appearance of having a democracy, but there's no democracy in Cameroon. So we're not the ones saying it. Samuel Kleda is saying it. And the people who live in Cameroon know this. On paper, it looks like it's a democracy. But how can you have a democracy? In 2025 soon, you're going to have elections in October. Who is going to win? Paul Biya, of course, is going to win. Paul Biya and his cronies control Elecam, which is the organization that monitors and manages elections in that country. He owns Elecam. So how can the results of the election be different? The election result cannot be different because Biya controls all those mechanisms. So people will continue complaining and complaining, but they'll get no positive results. So it looks like most Cameroonians are just resigning themselves, waiting for Biya to die. Cameroonians are people who have no courage. Okay? If you were in Ghana, Nigeria, they would have taken Biya out after over 43 years. But Cameroon is filled with people, they say they don't get canas, which means they don't have manhood. They are children. Okay? They eat sardine and go to sleep. So they may tell you, oh, we want to be free. They don't want to be free. If you want to be free, you have to fight for your own freedom. Samuel Kleda, the Archbishop of Douala, is already saying it in so many ways. Samuel Kleda reminds me of the late Cardinal Toumi, Christian Toumi, who was always saying that Biya Paul is making a mockery of democracy in Cameroon. He pretends to organize free and fair elections, but he wins those elections anyway. So why is he organizing these elections? Of course, to deceive the international community, to give the appearance that there is democracy in Cameroon. And we're telling that it's not. And in 2025, in October, they're going to organize new elections again. Because Biya's health has been failing him, this project is really going to face a lot of headwinds. People in Biya's party are still saying that they want him to be the candidate. The opposition is weak. They cannot really muscle the mass to stand firm, united, to take on this dictator who has been in power for over 43 years. So what's going to happen? We just feel sorry for our people in Ambazonia because we know that with the coming of elections, there are going to be more challenges for these people in Ambazonia to face. Ayabacho is still held in custody until probably next month. We told you this. So what is really happening in Ambazonia? Well, the people are still dying. Attacks on government soldiers are less frequent. Some people are saying that the people are preparing themselves to give them some big surprises. But as the year is coming to an end, Paul Biya is going to come up with his speech, which he makes almost at the end of the year. He's going to come again to make that speech. So if you've not been seeing Paul Biya, he's going to emerge again. The ghost is going to come out. Central African Republic. Well, a lot of truck drivers from Cameroon are complaining that rebels in the Central African Republic are killing them, making it difficult for them to transport goods from, say, Douala to Bangui in the Central African Republic. So that's a problem. So the soldiers should probably help the truck drivers to give them security. Because if they don't have security, how are they going to be plying those routes with goods, then facing the menace of these rebels? That's a problem. Then Chad is formed a committee to speed up the process of dismantling Franc-Afrique in their country. So the commission is on. Franc-Afrique has to go.
Welcome to a Uke Tax Service. We are tax professionals at your service. Our services include tax returns, payroll, bookkeeping, business planning. We provide professional service, years of experience, and are proud to serve your business. Get your maximum tax refund with 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. We are located at 11207A Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland 20901. Contact us at 240-350-1131. Fax 240-556-0535. Or email service@ayuketaxservice.com. Our hours of operation are weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and weekends 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please visit us online at www.ayuketaxservice.com.
What about Congo DRC? Well, in Congo DRC, we see that the menace of M23 is still there. Then, of course, you have some of the rebel groups that are from Yoweri Museveni's government has tried to push the rebels away from the frontier of their country, but the rebels are just there. So it looks like they don't really have an interest in solving the problem that is taking place in Congo DRC. So they have their own economic interests, okay? So every nation is fighting for its interests. What about Ghana? Well, in Ghana, we have a situation similar to what happened in the United States a few weeks ago. The former president, John Mahama, has won elections again. He defeated the vice president of the country to become president again. The election has a lot of similarities with the election that took place in the United States between Donald J. Trump and Kamala Harris. The economy, stupid. That's the theme. It looks like the government of Nana Akufo-Addo has been very, very weak. The economic policies have created a lot of pain for the Ghanaian people. People are just tired. Inflation, galloping inflation is the norm of the day. IMF loans, the country cannot pay their debts. So Ghana has defaulted on their debt many times, and it has become an international disgrace. So Nana Akufo-Addo has tried to keep things moving, but the people are unhappy because their plight is there, and Nana Akufo-Addo cannot do much for them. Which is why we see the same thing happening in Nigeria, and we think Bola Tinubu can do something on the economy. He's struggling. Yeah, Bola Tinubu is struggling. Last week we talked to you about his trip to Paris. This week people are saying, we hope Bola Tinubu is not planning to ask the French to install bases in Nigeria. No, Nigeria doesn't need those French bases. All African countries don't want those bases. So if Nigeria takes those bases, it's going to create a problem. Then what about South Africa? In South Africa, we have a major bribery scandal, a story affecting McKinsey and Company, which is a major accounting and professional management firm. Before, we talked to you about the Bell Pottinger scandal. So this one too is another scandal. American law, especially the Foreign Company Practices Act, they forbid American companies from being corrupt when they are operating in Africa. But that's exactly what McKinsey and Company did. So they go to South Africa and bribe the officials, so they give them big contracts. So this has come to light and it's not proper. The U.S. Department of Justice is exerting a lot of pressure on McKinsey and Company. So it looks like McKinsey and Company will have to pay a lot of money for these violations, for this corruption. So you see the way most of these American companies operate. When they are in America, they try to do the right thing. When they are in Africa, they behave like it's a jungle. They bribe our leaders so that our leaders can sell out their country to them. And this continues happening. How long are we going to allow these leaders to continue selling our countries? That's the question inquiring minds want address. And we're raising this question on this show because you asked us to raise them. We're telling you that the tax season is coming, and we're encouraging you to share and get involved in the program that we're putting together. And we want to help a lot of people. If you're a tax preparer already, call us. We're going to provide you with the infrastructure so that you can make money doing taxes. Then if you just want to make some extra money referring people to us to do taxes, we can also accommodate you, okay? So just call my number and we'll be able to accommodate you. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.